Well, hello, folks tuning in to IABD. Welcome to quarter 3 of the quarterly book club. Now, we just read Yaa Gyasi's Homegoing, and it was very well written. This is this author's debut novel, and I was very excited about it. It was one of my most anticipated reads, even though it did sit on my TBR for a long time. It's just how I am. I'm very much a mood reader. I did read it on my Kindle, so you can't see the cover, so insert beautiful cover right here. Is it there? Okay, yeah, it's there. So, this book took me a long time to get through. Not because I didn't enjoy it, not because it wasn't well written or it wasn't impactful. It's just not... I did not want something heavy. It's been a very rough couple days especially, so getting through the ending was a little tough for me. This book read differently for me than what I was expecting. I knew that it was multi-generational, but I wasn't expecting like 8 or 9 generations. I was expecting more like 3, and it would be more of a cohesive story, but this read much more like a series, a short story collection, or even a flash fiction collection. There were moments where it felt very disjointed, because it would jump 20 years, and then it would be about this person, and it would jump another 20 years, and it would be about the next person, all the way down the line from both Essie and Effia, coming all the way down. I do believe this is an important story. I do believe that it's worth your time to read and get to know these time periods. I believe it is important. Yaa Gyasi has a very approachable writing style, I would say. I never felt talked down to. I never felt stupid. I'm excited to see what she has coming down the pipeline. I know that Transcendent Kingdom just came out, and I'm looking forward to reading that. She's very promising. This is a debut novel, and I fully anticipated this to be one of my top books of the year, and it's just not. And that's okay. What I did like was earlier in the year, and this was a top read for me so far, I read Nydia Okorafor's Akata Witch, and then the term Akata comes up later in the story here, and I just thought that was fun, and they explain what that means. So here's the section they talk about being an Akata person. She wanted to tell Mrs. Pinkston that at home they had a different word for African Americans, Akata, that Akata people were different from Ghanaians. Ghanaians being from Ghana, Ghana. Too long gone from Mother Continent to continue calling it the Mother Continent. She wanted to tell Mrs. Pinkston that she could feel herself being pulled away too, almost Akata, too long gone from Ghana to be Ghanaian. So that Akata being someone who has been gone from the Mother Continent for so long that you can no longer call it your Mother Continent. So I thought that was interesting, because in Akata Witch, she comes home, Sunny comes home Sunny and her family move back to Africa, and she finds out she is a leopard person. And that has a whole nother thing. That audiobook was really great, by the way, so highly recommend. It was really good. But Akata coming forth in multiple stories and books, I just think that's interesting to see and fun to learn about, because I didn't know of these terms. And as someone who enjoys history and enjoys learning about different cultures, I enjoyed seeing these things crop up in other stories. And another thing that I saw, so the first book we read this year was I Tituba, and in that book it was heavily influenced that your previous generations who have passed away, they stay with you to guide you through your life. And Marjorie's grandmother, also known as Old Lady, had passed away, and because Marjorie was very close to her, and she said, are you going to die? And Old Lady said that only bodies die, spirits wandered. They found Asamando or they didn't. They stayed with their descendants to guide them through life, to comfort them, sometimes to scare them into waking from their fog of unloving unliving. And again, it's very similar to how I felt about seeing the term Akata in other stories, is that it's a theme through this that I feel is very cultural and very interesting to learn about, and I really enjoyed that. In the beginning, I felt more familial connections, and then it got a bit disjointed in the center, and then it came back. I really started connecting more with the characters, with the generation of H coming through. His name is H. There is a reason. I would say go read it if you want to know why. H and the founding of and the founding of unions. He has a hand in that. And then the next generation, his daughter Willie and like his grandson, they start getting involved in the NAACP, and they talk about the marches in the 60s. They talk about riots. The author hits on other issues like colorism. She touches on the drug abuse in the 60s in Harlem and the heroin abuse. And she touches on all these things. Now, some of the reviews I did read, that frustrated them, that it was only just these pinpoints of, hey, look at, this is what happened, and there's not much deeper. That frustrated me a little bit as well, but I felt a little more okay with it just because it's not my preference to read a story in this format, but it did not bother me as much as other people. So it's just, we're all individuals. You read how you read, you like what you like, you don't like what you don't like, and it's all okay. So it didn't bother me as much, only in the center when it was a little disjointed. But overall, and then once H's generation started, I started feeling more of a connection. I felt a connection with characters in the first couple generations, sort of lost it in the middle, and then felt that connection again with later generations. It's closer to my generation that I can relate to more. I enjoyed it. I don't have much else other than give it a try, and I hope you really enjoy it. Okay, so The Apothecary's Curse is our next book, and it's by Barbara Barnett, and I'm excited about this one. It takes place in Victorian London. It is a Bram Stoker Award nominated fantasy, so this is actually going to mix alchemy and genetics as a gentleman physician and a brilliant apothecary try to prevent a pharmaceutical company from exploiting the book that made them immortal centuries ago. So I'm excited about this one. I'll probably start in the next couple days. I do not know of trigger warnings for this one. So please take care of yourself and your mental health should you choose to participate in this quarter's reading, and just take a look at some reviews, read up a little more on the book, and decide if it's for you. And I hope to talk to you soon about it. And until next time, I've been Sam. Please do not forget to get your tickets for our live show for It's All Been Done Radio Hour on October 10th, 2020 at 5 p.m. So you can either buy a full price $20 ticket for the live stream, or you can become a patron at patreon.com/IABD and always have access to our live shows for a hugely discounted price. Hugely, I can't believe I just said hugely. For a massively discounted price. So at $2, $5, $10, or $25, you can have access every single month, and you do not need to pay that one-time ticket fee. So I will see you soon. Talk to you soon. Don't forget to follow us on social media at IABD Presents at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.